asked Nigerians to share the stories of their mothers, the sacrifices they made for them, the journey of pain, love, devotion, and struggles made by our mothers to make us who we are today. They shared their stories with us. Thousands of entries, hundreds of interviews, and documentary across the country. 20 unique stories have been selected for us to learn from, appreciate, and celebrate. The sacrifices and devotion are real. Real people, real stories, real experiences. The emotional true life experiences being shared, narrated, and dramatized are simply captivating. Sit back, relax, and enjoy most touching stories of our mothers. The Supermom reality TV show starts now.
Last week, we shared 2 extraordinary mothers with you on this show, and we asked you to make your choice for the potential Supermom. Nigerians have voted. The winner for last week's episode is... To vote for your choice mom, text mother's name to 33070. Remember, text mother's name to 33070. You can vote as many times as you wish.
It's the capital FEMI, aka Mr. aka Money Man. All right, as you all know, a mother's love for a child is like nothing in this world. It has no bounds, has no laws, and definitely has no pity. It dares all things and crushes remorselessly anything in the past. Something about my mom. My mom's a great mom. I mean, she's been through a lot, and something I remember about her is always telling me that in everything that you do, you put God into it. She was my mom's a very spiritual woman. You know, she made sure that we went to church on Sunday and everything like that. So I always remember her just giving great words, just, you know, always finding a way to give me comfort. And also she was willing to make as much sacrifice that she needs to make for me to be the best me that I can be. On this note, I welcome you to another amazing and intriguing episode of the Supermom reality TV show, where as usual we share real life experience of 2 moms who are willing to do anything to stand out in the world as the best mom. Enjoy.
As always on the Supermom reality show, we would be celebrating 2 extraordinary mothers who stood by their children in good and bad times. Mrs. Aishat Moyade Adedeji and Mrs. Olufumilayo Adeleye will be slugging it out on today's episode. Mrs. Aishat Moyade Adedeji is from Osun State. She's 58 years and a mother of 8 children. Mrs. Aishat Moyade Adedeji is a trader. Mrs. Olufumilayo is from Ogun State but spent most of her time in Calabar, where her husband worked before returning to Lagos with her children. She is a widow with 8 children. Mrs. Olufumilayo Adeleye is 55 years old and a businesswoman. We'll begin with Mrs. Aishat Moyade Adedeji's story. Her son, Oladosun Lukman Olayinka, told us about the sacrifices mother made for him as a young child.
My name is Oladosun Lukman Olayinka. I am from a town called Lekosin in Odoti local government of Osun State. My mom's name is Mrs. Aishat Moyade Adedeji. I want to tell the world the story about my mom. My mom really did a lot for me when I was young.
Oladosun Lukman is a 26-year-old undergraduate. When Lukman was a year old, he had terrible fever and his parents treated it. As such, when it became persistent, he was rushed to the hospital and a nurse gave him an injection in his veins, and this affected his legs. Lukman could no longer walk.
I was a year older then when they told me that I was a little bit sick and I was taken to an hospital. Then I was given an injection. In the following morning, I woke up like other normal children. I tried to come down from the bed. When I get down, I tried to stand on my 2 legs, but I couldn't. I fall down.
Ìgbà tí àárẹ̀ rẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀, ara gbígbóná náà ló bá bẹ̀rẹ̀. Náà la bá gbé lọ hospital, à ń pọ̀ hospital ní Aluba Chemist.
Mrs. Aishat Adedeji took Lukman to several hospitals for treatment, but his situation did not change. Due to the stress of taking Lukman from one hospital to another and a state of mind, Mrs. Aishat Adedeji had stillbirths when she was 8 months pregnant.
I try to come down from the bed. When I get down, I try to stand on my 2 legs, but I couldn't. I fall down. Since then, they have been going from one physiotherapist to another, from one hospital to another, just to make sure that she saw her own son on his feet back. But all the effort pull about it.
There is no improvement. You promised me he'll be fine.
Madam, we are trying all our best here.
You mean you're using my son as a specimen? After all these things started here.
But I sacked the nurse that did this to your son. What else do you want me to do?
Is that the best you can do? Is that the best you can do? Make my son walk again. Make my son walk again, please. I beg of you.
We'll try our best.
Please. I beg of you, please, doctor. Please.
Àti ẹ̀tọ́ hospital ǹdé ńjọ́ náà ni àwọn ẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ bá bí wọ́n ṣe jókòó ní bá ń sáré ká. Ọmọ mi wá rá kò tẹ̀lé ló wá ní màmí. Kí ló dé tóun ò lè rìn mọ́? Mo ní ìmọ̀bi tó ti ṣàgbákò àárẹ̀ yìí o. Ìwọ tó ti ń lọ tí ń gbé kalẹ̀ tí ń kiri ọjà mi lọ. Bá gbé kalẹ̀ yóò máa ṣe tí ń fi dé ni.
Since then, they have been going from one physiotherapist to another, from one hospital to another, just to make sure that she saw her own son on his feet back.
Asa ṣe. Aba lọ sí Aluba. Àtúndé Aluba náà bá direct wá sí hospital o. Bí wọ́n ti máa wo àwọn wèrè. Aba tún direct wá lọ bẹ̀ wọ́n ní ká mọ test síbi náà báyìí ni. A wá test abẹ́ náà. Wọ́n máa fi ara ẹsẹ̀ rẹ̀ gba ibi náà. Wọ́n ní máa jẹ́ eegun ẹsẹ̀ ó lé síbi iná bá ti ń ta sí la. Bàbá lọ níjọ́ kan, Ọlọ́run ló ṣàyọ̀ àwa méjèèjì àti ìyá àti bàbá. Bàbá tó dé oríta kan bí káyà sí ọwọ́ ìsàlẹ̀ báyìí, bọ́kàn ṣe ń bọ̀ lọ́wọ́ òkè báyìí. Ó ṣe gbá àwa méjèèjì dànù nù. Àmọ́ pé àní kú níbẹ̀ níjọ́ náà. Ọlọ́pàá bá tún direct wá sí hospital Aluba la bá tún lọ gba oògùn.
Mrs. Aishat Adedeji did not allow the fact that Lukman could not walk stand in the way of his education. She would carry him to school, return home to hawk Ogi, and she would also be the one to bring him back home after school.
Tí ó lọ sí sùkúù, dádì rẹ̀ bá lọ rẹ̀ gbé ní tí wọ́n bá gbé lọ láàárọ̀ tán bá lọ bí iṣẹ́ èmi náà tó lọ rẹ̀ gbé.
One day, Mrs. Aishat Adediji dropped Lukman off to school like she normally does, not knowing that there will be a riot. She trekked a long distance to get to his school, where other children have already run to safety. But because of his condition, Lukman was the only one there, waiting for his mother.
I was in primary 4 then, that was in 1994, because I started school when I was 7 years old. Just because of my condition. My mother backed me a lot for about 4 or 5 years because of my condition. And when I started school around 91, 94, this incident happened. There was a crisis in my school. During that time, Kaduna State is not too peaceful because of the problem of one crisis into another. There was this crisis and every children were running, even my classmates, my colleagues that my father used to take us to school together. Everybody, they were at large. It remained only me, the poor child on the floor.
Tí wọ́n jà tí wọ́n pa èèyàn bá ọmọ gbogbo ọmọ sùkúù tún dé mo rí mo ta ní ògbé ó lè rìn ní ọmọ tí ń pọ̀n lọ tí ó gbé lọ tí ó rí pọ̀n bọ̀ mo bá kú ọ̀nà.
And then to my surprise, my mother trekked about 25 kilometers. We used to stay at Tudunum Power, at Masca close to Tudunum Power, Kaduna. And the location of my school then is Tudun Wada, Army Children's School, Communal Barrack, Tudun Wada, Kaduna. She came and she picked me up.
She took the risk, trekking all the way, and they returned home late at night.
We were going on the road that very day with fear that maybe something may happen to us. Or my mom, she's a woman that I love so much, and all she have done for me, I don't think I can ever forget.
Mrs. Aishat Adediji was introduced to a Shehu, an Islamic scholar, who she was told can make her son walk. She had to travel to another village for the treatment. There she lived for 40 days, and she was asked to fast for the duration.
Bàbá rẹ̀ bá ní ohun tó ń gbọ́ bì kan wọ́n ní ẹ̀dẹ̀ lolúwa rẹ̀ wà wọ́n ní wọ́n pè é séwù omi nílò sábíyá ọmọ wo ni ó gbọ́ oyún tí ó wà pé ò ní lọ mo bá ní bó bá ti di ìjọ wọn bá ń lọ èmi náà tẹ̀lé ẹ lọ.
When my mother heard about it, we were taken there, and then my mother was subjected to marathon fasting for months, and then that fasting really affected her.
Adébẹ̀ àgbàdúrà àgbàwẹ̀ ogójì bàbá tún gbogójì tán wọ́n pè ká gba omi.
When her husband stopped sending her money for their upkeep, she resorted to begging till they finally left for home. She had to trek home with her son on her back. She almost went mad due to the stress she had gone through. She lost her way home, but luck was on her side as she met someone who knew her. She guided her home.
Actually, my father used to send us some money, but along the way, the money stopped, and then there's nothing coming again, and hunger setting.
Ìyẹn sì mú ní ọdún náà, ìyẹn mú kò sóúnjẹ kò sí kan.
Then my mother have to leave the camp where the prayer section is taking place. On our way home, imagine a grown-up woman, going inside a town where she was married into, losing her way home just because of the problem of his own child. She couldn't remember the address of the house anymore. She was just going around and round and round when some of my father's relatives now saw her. Who is this? It's like this is Oladoso's wife. Then I took her home.
Bí mo ṣe wá délé báyìí ìrọ̀lẹ́ rẹ̀ báyìí ní dájú rẹ̀ náà bá tún dé. Má bá ní kò sí ṣíṣe kò sáìsì. A máa lọ sí Kaduna ni.
This thing almost affected my mother psychologically. But thank God, after that, we were taken to hospital. Both me and my mother, we were given blood before we could survive. She risked her life for me. She risked everything for me. She sold so many things just because of me, trying to pay from one sweet side to another just to make sure that I am on my feet.
Bóyá ni wọ́n bá rìsáàjì wa nígbà tí ò sún wájú tí ò sẹ́yìn. Àbá tún délé ni wọ́n bá tún júwe. Ẹ máa lọ ibì kan, á tún júwe ibì kan. Tó wọ́n bá tiẹ̀ wá pa àwa méjèèjì sáàrin lẹ́yìn bí wọ́n ti ń ṣe Coca-Cola ní Kaduna nínú igbó. Ọkùnrin kan àti ìyá kan náà ló wà ńbẹ̀. A máa mú àwọ̀ abúlé. Wọ́n sáfún wa ní tútù tata tó náà mọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ yóò purọ́ fún ọ lédèdí òótọ́. La bá tún lo èèyàn náà. A tún lò náà. Orí bákan náà ni.
All the effort pulled abortive. When the hospital did not work, she and my father, they decided to try and maybe use some native ways. The incident that happened, that was in 1993. That was then I was even in primary school then. I could remember my mom, she heard of a crusade, despite the fact that we are Muslim. But she still believed that anywhere that she can take her child that will make him walk again is worth doing. She took me to the crusade, and this crusade lasted for hours. It was ended up in the middle of the night.
Àsìkò tá a jáde olúkálùkù ń sáré wọkọ̀ ni nígbà tí dáàdì rẹ̀ ìdè gbogbo wọn ní àwọn mọ̀ pé àsìkò ti tó. Ìgbà tí wọ́n èdè àwa náà ti kẹ́sẹ̀ ọ̀nà àti rìn láti Murtala Super àti rìn bọ́ọ̀lì.
And then we have to go back home. She backed me, and then as we are coming back home, we need to pass through the Kaduna State Central Market. As we were passing through the market, my mom knew the danger ahead, but there's no way she could avoid it because we have to get home. That market, to those who know the market during that time, it was a dead end for anybody that passed. Even during the day, they are killing people there without people that are passing, buying something, knowing that something bad is happening inside. And not to talk of in the middle of the night when you have to walk.
Supermom reality TV show, a celebration of our mothers.
They broke Lukman's bones and supported them with bamboo sticks. This was done thrice because it was not properly done in the first place.
One time, all these traditional physiotherapists, I don't know if anybody's legs have been broken physically without any painkiller. Mine was broken twice without painkiller. I was subjected to pains that very day. I never ever experienced such a thing in my life.
Bóyá náà bá ní ẹnìkan tó ẹsẹ̀, wọ́n bá tó ní torí bó bá dúró bí ó ṣe ṣe sẹ́yìn ni. Tẹ́sẹ̀ rẹ̀ wó ṣẹ́ báyìí tí ó ṣe kan, wọ́n bá ní ẹnìkan tó ẹsẹ̀ la bá tún gbé lọ́bẹ̀, a tún gbìyànjú àṣé a tún dáràn mọ́rán ni.
Madam, if you know you can't leave us do our job, you better leave.
I'm sorry, I won't cry again.
When we get home, the legs, after breaking the leg there, then pieces of bamboos were used to cover the legs, and then some racks. They covered the legs up, then I was taken home. It was on the bed there where my mother used to take. She would pack me. If I want to toilet, that's where I would toilet. Everything I want to do, everything on the bed there. I spent about 3 months on the bed.
Mrs. Aishat Adidiji watched as her son suffered, suffering with him all the way. After a while, Lukman was able to walk with the aid of crutches.
And the things that she achieved on me is my 2 legs that is able to walk. Before I used to use 2 arm stick. It was my mom who trained me on how to use 1 stick.
Nígbà tó kọ́ tá nǹkan fún ní igi méjì là kọ́ fún ó kì kan bọ̀yìn yóò máa fi rìn díẹ̀.
She first started with collecting 1 stick. The 2 arm stick, she will collect 1. She will keep it and force me to use 1.
Sorry, my son. Sorry. You can do it, okay? I'm your mother. I can't see you suffer. Okay? I can't see you suffer. Mama, I love you more. Okay? Mama, I can't do it. You can do it. You can do it. It's just a learning process. You'll perfect it, okay? You'll perfect it. Just try. I can't do it. Give me the other one. Okay. Okay, let me give you the other one.
Nígbà tí tó ń fi rìn tí mo rí pé ẹsẹ̀ ń dè bàbá tó ní kó sọ di igi kan tó wá sọ́dà ẹsẹ̀ ń wá tẹ̀ sẹ́yìn tó bá wá ṣe báyìí yóò máa mè báyìí ẹsẹ̀ wọn máa mè àfi ní ká tún dá iná rìn wò pé tó bá fi rìn gbé dúró bóyá yóò tún ṣe látún fi sẹ́ni.
Mrs. Aishat Adediji took the crutches away when he had mastered it and gave him a walking stick. Today, Lukman has mastered the art of using just a walking stick, all because his mother was there supporting him.
Then after some times, I was able to use 1. Then after some time, she collect the second one and give me smaller ones. Well, the stick, not this type of fancy stick. She gave me a smaller one, 2. Then I was using the 2. After some time, she now collected 1 again. It remained 1, and that's the only one that I'm using today. I can dress like any normal person. I can walk anywhere. Although when people see me, it may be somehow stressful in their eye, but I can walk anywhere.
The Supermom Season 2, a celebration of our mothers.
And I have prayed in my life that one day, if God permits me to become a greater person in life, I will hit. My mother will hit 3 before I hit 2. I will take care of her more than anybody can imagine. I love my mom, and she knows that. And my mom, Mrs. Aishat Adediji, is the most superwoman I have ever met in my life. I love her so much.
Anytime that I fall, and when I cry, you dry the tears from my eyes. Anytime that I fall, when I cry, you wipe the tears from my eyes. If you see my mama, if you see my mama, tell her I love her. Please tell her. If you see my mama, if you see my mama, tell her I love her.
A Supermom reality TV show.
Every day they suffer for me like no other man. If I no job, you no good job, you the pro.
Anthony Olarewaju Awotoye will always be in the history of Nigeria's music industry. He was part of the boys group Remedies. Eddie Remedy and Idris Abdul Karim were the other members of the group. The group brought style into hip-hop music, infusing our local dialects like Yoruba or sometimes Pidgin English in their songs. As a young boy, Tony had a passion for music, which his family was aware of. His mother, Mrs. Awotoye, popularly known as Mommy, used to buy him toy musical equipments like piano, drums and guitar to fuel his passion. She was ready to send him abroad to study music, but that was the time he met Idris Abdul Karim, who later became a member of the group. While studying at Federal Polytechnic Offa in Kwara State, Tony Tetwila used to organize shows. His DJ introduced him to Idris. After talking, they both decided they have something in common: music. They started working together. Idris later introduced his friend Eddie Remedy to Tony, who later joined the group. Though they had dreams of becoming great musicians, there was no money to take their dream to the next level. Tony Tetwila's mother filled that void. She financed the group so they were able to stand on their feet. When members of the group decided to go their separate ways, Tony Tetwila learned how to stand alone as a musician, who went on to release award-winning hits like My Car. Her unconditional love and loyalty is what shaped this young man to be part of a group that changed the face of music in Nigeria.
When I did cry, you wiped the tears from my eyes.
Supermom reality TV show.
Mrs. Olufunmilayo Adeleya's daughter, Bumi Adeleya, shared her experience growing up with her mother after her father's death.
My name is Olubumi Adeleya. My mom's name is Olufunmilayo Arike Adeleya. She's 55. She's a native of Ogun State. She's Egba. She's from Abeokuta. She's an amazing woman.
I got married early. I went to school here in Lagos. After my modern school, I got married to my husband, J.O. Adeleye. He was with Nigeria Airways. And both of us were transferred to Calabar. So in Calabar, that's where I had my children. Because of our working with Nigeria Airways, I have opportunity to travel about 3 times in a year. But I have to have my own money. It will provide me the ticket. We were having our children like that. The 2 years they senior each other. When I had a boy first. Then the second, after the boy, I have 4 girls. I don't know that my husband is looking for a male child. It was my own friend. Very, very painful. I don't know when they had the first one. I used to see the lady. I will say, how are you? You are having children every year. How is your husband and children? He said they are fine. Then I travel a lot. Whenever I travel, this lady will come to my house. I don't know. Everybody thought this is my friend. So he has the first pregnancy for my husband. I don't know. I even saw him when he had the boy. My junior sister that was living with me say, Daddy has have children now. So I say, why? What is your business with that? But leave me, Joe. Then my friend from outside called me that your husband has a boy outside. I say, I heard they say he has a boy. Is he a boy? He say he's number 2. I say, how can that be?
Take your hands off me.
What is the matter? You've been acting strangely ever since I came back from my trip.
You're the one who is strange. How can you claim you love me and sleep with another woman outside? Or you think I don't know you have kids?
Darling, I can explain. Explain. I did not want to hurt you. That was why I kept it from you.
You've hurt me already. How can you sleep with my friend? Why?
When he has the second one, it was when I knew that the children are for my husband. Actually, there was problem. Then I almost packed out of the house.
Mrs. Olufunmilayo Adeleya's husband went to friends and families to help him plead with his wife not to leave the marriage.
He started running up and meeting all the people in Calabar to beg me, all the Yorubas to beg me.
An uncle finally got through to her, advising her to stick with her husband now that things are looking up for him. Otherwise, a strange woman would come in and reap from where she did not sow. She yielded to his advice and remained in the marriage.
Then there was one commissioner of police. He came from Isanegba, from Ogun State, man. He came and said they should call me. I went there, started telling me that Betty Gino, that is the soup has ready. Adamu Mawa, somebody that did not work with you is going to share out of that soup you have cooked. Then there is nothing you can do. You cannot run away from it. That if I did not accept, even though if I go home, that is what they are going to tell me, and there is nothing I can do.
One day, Mr. Adeleye pleaded with her to allow him bring his 2 sons from the other woman home to live with them. After much pleadings, Mrs. Olufumilayo Adeleye accepted and raised the 2 boys with her 6 children.
Then, when these children were growing up, my husband decided that he wants to bring in these children. That is where Wahala busted, and he was begging me. There is nothing I could do. He brought the first one. They were going to school with my own children. Then not long, he went and bring the second one. Both of them were with me. I was taking care of these children. Yet my husband doesn't have a job, and these children were 8 children in the house.
Mrs. Olufumilayo's husband was laid off with several other people in his company. Mrs. Olufumilayo Adeleye became concerned about her 8 children. She would go to the bush market to buy oranges and bananas, which she would bring to Calabar to sell. She automatically became the breadwinner of the family.
There is nothing I did not sell. I will go to Aba, start buying this, buying that. I go to the bush market. I will go and buy oranges, vegetable, and start giving it to people. Then later, my husband was still alive. He doesn't have a job. He go to Equatorial Guinea. He was doing his best, but his best was not good enough. He started thinking of his job and so on and so forth.
Mr. Adeleye had heart attack and slumped. Mrs. Olufumilayo ran to the neighbors to assist her, take him to the hospital.
He woke up in the morning. He gave this one money that he should go and plait. He said when he was going to Port Harcourt. He came back and he didn't plait. He said the early that morning he woke up and said, why don't you plait hair? You should plait the type of your sister's hair. I said it was raining throughout when you leave, so you cannot go and plait it. Just do like this. Like this. I've never seen where somebody died. Just I started carrying him. Gee, Baba Joke, oh, Baba Joke, oh, Baba Joke, oh. I screamed. I didn't know what to do.
Unfortunately, it was raining, so it took her time to find someone who agreed to make the trip to the hospital under the rains. But her husband died before they got to the hospital.
Then by the time they come in and rescue this man, take him to the car. Somebody brought their car and take him to the hospital. I wore my wrapper like this. I was running to the hospital. We get to the hospital. They went and checked him inside the car. They said they didn't bring him car. I said, I will take care of myself. If I will carry him, as I went and carried trolley, I started pushing the nurse and pushing the doctor that if you don't want to help me, I help myself. They thought I'm mad. They took the trolley from me. The doctor now sat me down and started telling me that you should allow this injection to work on you. If this thing did not work on you, you will be mad forever. And there is no medicine that will cure you unless this man get up from the dead, and which he cannot get up. You will be mad forever. They started giving me injection. I can remember very well. That is how this man died and leave me with these children. And I was telling, the day they want to bury this man, I said, these 2 children, nobody will take them from me. These 2 boys that he brought, they're even nobody because my husband gave them to me. I cannot leave these children. I started crying like that. And for good 5 years after my husband died, nobody come to our rescue. The family was saying I was the one that killed him.
And I mean, we were quite young. I was 13 when my dad died. My father's people thought my mom killed my dad. So it was basically, she was on her own.
And as God will have it, these 2 boys, they are still with me. Out of these 8 children, 5 of them are graduates. If we were to be in Lagos, my parents were calling me, calling me to come back to Lagos. To come back to Lagos to come and marry.
You can share the 6 children amongst the family. Then the other 2 boys, you can send them to their mother.
I can't do that. My husband wanted me to take care of those boys, and that's what I will do.
You are still very young. You can still come back when you get to America. When things work out for you, fine, you can come back for your children.
But your mothers, why are you saying all this? I should leave my children, not certain what will happen to them while I'm there.
At least you will have a life, and that is all that matters.
God knows you might find a husband when you get there. At least you are just 35 years old.
I cannot do that, I'm sorry. My children is all that matters to me.
A lot of women would have probably found some guy. A lot of women would have taken the option of having somebody else take the responsibility of taking care of each of us. But she was there.
Even though I said, if I get there, I will make it to come and carry these children. Do I know within 1 year or 2 years what is going to become of them? Who will take care of these children?
Mrs. Olufumilayo was able to gather the money for the rent. The landlady kept increasing the rent. However, she was able to pay up the new amount.
Where we were living in Calabar, the woman said I should pack out. That he does not want to give somebody who doesn't have a husband a house. I said, is it not your present that my husband died? Are you going to give me husband with all these my children?
You cannot stay in my house. You cannot stay in my house. Who are you for a small place to live? You and your children. But why do you want me out of this house? I promised to pay my rent on time. I'm sorry. I don't want a woman with that husband in my house. But you were here when I lost my husband. And it wasn't like I was wayward or I didn't want to settle down. Please, I cannot move my children out of here. Not now that they are trying to settle from their father's death. Please. Well, you know that I just increased my house. And if you cannot pay a new bill that I increased, I better throw your things out of my house.
He came and said he's going to increase it from 200 to 500 to eject me.
Mrs. Olufumilayo would fry akara and make ogi during the Muslim fasting period and take it to different mosques in Calabar to sell.
There are 5 mosques in Calabar, central mosques and some other small mosques like that. And we would make ogi. During the fast, every year when they fasted, we would make ogi and akara.
This Alaji, I'm telling you that he knows my husband very well, normally give me akara to fry every fasting for 30 days. I will fry it. You go to the Muslim student mosque. You go to Calabar Road. You go to Bogobri. You go to there. That is how we fry the akara every 30 days for them to go and sell. And God is helping me.
We all learned how to make akara. We'll fry a lot of it, and we'll put it in baskets. And each of us will take it to the different mosques.
I really thank God. I thank God. As I am now, Diola, who is one of the 2 boys I took, is now an economist. He's a graduate. Deji, I told you, out of the 8 of them, 5 of them are graduates. The 3 that are not graduates, they are professionals on their own. This Buki doesn't go to school. It's not because we didn't send him. He was sick, but he can sew. She can sew very well. Toji to learn work is in Akwa Ibom. Yeah, he did metal work. He can do something on his own. Deji, who is the second boy of that one, is an she did electrical engineer. She learned electrical. All of them at least went to secondary school.
She was also involved in outdoor and indoor catering, all to make ends meet.
Apart from the selling, she should go cook for people. she went to learn catering. She had learned the catering when my dad was alive, and she would go do like basic catering job. That was the basic thing that she was doing.
I used to cook for people so that I can feed them. I used to do both in and outdoor cooking.
In fact, we fed from those catering jobs because when she's coming home, she brings a bit of whatever it is that she has made, and that became dinner or lunch, as the case may be.
It was then, after 5 years, this same my brother-in-law come and sent 50,000 to me after 5 years.
And then the money that I gave to her, part of that money wasn't enough to get a full kerosene tank on her own steam. So she took some part of that money to get the tank itself, and then she went to the depot manager, who happened to be a family friend, and said, look, this is my situation. As I sell the kerosene, I will pay back.
Mrs. Olufumilayo's kerosene tank was vandalized by thieves, and she was given the product on credit. She had to pay back her creditors, though she made a total loss. Mrs. Olufumilayo pleaded to pay her debts in installments.
When I put down money for kerosene, not long, thief burst.
So you can imagine the shock and the sadness and everything that happened the day the news came to us very early in the morning. It wasn't even 7 o'clock yet. So we rushed down. My mom, myself, my oldest sister. We went to her shop at Bogobiri. And as we're going, I recall clearly that the gutters that were leading up to that place had kerosene running through them.
That was the end of the kerosene. The 50,000 they sent to me, plus the kerosene, the one I have, is not even up to buy a bridger, but they normally give it to me on trust. As I sell, I will be giving. I will be paying back the money. They burgled everything.
I recall when we were talking about the story again, how she went there and she was telling them, she went there crying, she was begging, and she was like, half kado, half kado.
In fact, up to tomorrow, if I call Mrs. Anoka, they always call me last card. Last card means that is the end of life. That kerosene has finished.
The man was like, what do you mean by half card? There's a Yoruba adage that when people lose their loved ones, lose a husband or lose a wife, especially for the wife, my mom went, eru enikan, eru eni meji, so di eru enikan, meaning basically that the load or work that's supposed to be meant for 2 people, that's now become a load or work for 1 person. And she was like, I'm not the full card anymore, I'm now half card, you have to help me, this is what has happened and everything.
I was able to finance their education through to the kerosene I'm selling. And then in Calabar, the school fees was not much then. At the same time, some of their father's friends used to assist me in their education. There's one man is in Port Harcourt, is my husband's tight friend. Then they used to reimburse us, come and give us some feeding allowance, pay their school fees. A lot of friends come around to help me.
A Supermom reality TV show.
You're an amazing woman. I don't think that anybody would say otherwise or would say that you haven't tried, you haven't given us everything. I know that you would die for us if it comes to that. You would fight tooth and nail for us. I remember so many things. I remember once when you went to Matomi and abuses were being screamed at you from the balcony on the main road, and you're walking away with tears in your eyes. I remember all the things that all the sacrifices that you made, and I just want to say thank you. Thanks for being there. Thanks for not running out on us. Thanks for keeping us together.
I really thank God. I can say I'm a testimony, but I pray that mothers should always take things easy when it happens. It's not easy, but be at your post. Be at your post and die as a soldier.
A Supermom reality TV show.
You're a mom in a million. This is for everybody, for Batunji, Stajoke, Stabuki, myself, for Diola, for Folake, for Deji, for Rotimi, for all your grandkids, Toyosi, Shola, all of us. Thank you.
Wow, I could tell you viewers at home are definitely touched by this real life experience. But the deal is, only one mother has to stay to the next stage. That means you have to send the name of your favorite mother to this short code, and it's 33070. Don't forget, it's 33070. My name is Femi Adenka, aka capital FEMI, and don't forget, keep on celebrating our mothers, because they're really, really special and amazing. Bye-bye.
The Supermom Season 2, a celebration of our mothers.
Every day they suffer for me like no other man. If I no job, you no good job, you dey provide for me. Yeah. Anytime that is gone, you strong, you dey tidy